Welcome everyone to the 19th International Racquetball Federation World Championships. I'm Laura McCormick, joined by Timothy Baghurst, and we are getting ready to watch the men's quarterfinals. Rodrigo Montoya versus Conrado Moscoso from Bolivia. Gonna be a tough match and an exciting quarterfinal.
Well, we've been looking forward to this all week. Well, once we saw the draw, we had round robin for 3 days, a day off, and then the single elimination draw began. Both of these players won their matches yesterday very convincingly. Montoya defeating De Leon 15-1, 15-1, making a statement. Well, Moscoso made a statement on this court yesterday as well, defeating the home favorite Camacho in front of a very partisan crowd. I mean, really played phenomenally to take that game or match very convincingly also. So who's going to win this? Who knows? It's one of those situations where both are playing incredibly well. Both are young, talented athletes. Montoya from Mexico, playing on the professional tour. Moscoso doesn't play on the professional tour, but if you're familiar with international racquetball, you know who Moscoso is. South American champion from earlier this year, this summer, in both singles and doubles. He's competing in doubles with his partner this week, Roland Keller. But first, he's got singles. He wants a medal.
Yeah, and this is going to be quite a battle. You can see both players preparing their knee pads, right? Pulling them all the way up because they know they're going to be diving all over the floor. Both of them have a lot of power, a lot of diving, a lot of gets, a lot of speed. This is a fun quarterfinal matchup. We do have, coming up after this match, we'll have David Horn from USA and Mario Mercado from Colombia. That'll be rounding out our streaming of the singles quarterfinals. And later this afternoon, we'll have the doubles.
Well, thank you for all of you who've joined us for this match. We encourage you and ask you to share the feed with your friends and family. Let's spread racquetball around the world. And what you're going to see is the very best of two athletes competing very hard. The winner advances to the semifinals. Loser, sorry, no medal for you. It's
Ooh,
a very,
ouch.
it's one of those situations that's very intense, very high pressure.
It is.
Because these medals mean a lot to these players, not only for their own titles, but sometimes for funding from governments.
And something that's unique to this event, the World Championships, is every 2 years, whereas another international racquetball federation event like the Pan American Racquetball Championships, which leads up to the Pan American Games, is every year. This is a special event. There's 18 different countries represented here this week, including some countries that we only see at these world events, including Korea, Japan, Switzerland,
Ireland,
India, Ireland. And then, of course, we have the teams that we maybe are more familiar with in racquetball, like Mexico, Bolivia, Colombia, Argentina, USA, Guatemala, Ecuador.
We should mention that these players are not just competing for themselves, they're also competing for their team. How they do in these tournaments determines points scored for their team, and then there is an overall team champion. Mexico defending their title from 2016. We'll see if they can do it again. So far, it's doing extremely well, although this morning we saw Samantha Salas lose in her quarterfinal. Paola Longoria won hers. Right now, last I checked, it was 6-6 in the tiebreaker between Sebastian Franco and Daniel De La Rosa. We'll try and update you with that score when we hear it.
Conrado Moscoso starts off serving.
Great serve.
Good D from Montoya. And a skip from Moscoso.
Beautiful hands from Montoya to control the return from Moscoso. Both of these players hit it really, really hard. Another excellent shot from Montoya. He's not going to be overwhelmed by this experience. He's played internationally before. He was the doubles champion in the Pan Ams in March with his doubles teammate Alvaro Beltran. Beltran is here playing doubles this time with Daniel De La Rosa. Another skip from Moscoso. He has to settle down. He was a semifinalist 2 years ago, losing to the eventual champion, Rocky Carson, in a tiebreaker. So we know he can play. Also a finalist as a junior, a 17-year-old back in 2014.
Yeah, interestingly enough, too, Rocky Carson is not playing singles for USA, so there will be a new world champion this year in 2018.
For the first time since 2008. It's
what
incredible.
an opportunity for these players, too. And I'm sure Moscoso has his eye on that prize, as well as Montoya. But given how close Moscoso was in 2016, you can almost taste it.
Montoya started the better. That was a little loose for Moscoso.
3-point lead for Rodrigo Montoya from Mexico in game 1.
Great get, Montoya. What a rally.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my word. The crowd love it.
These guys are so fast. They're hitting that ball so hard, and you know, you really didn't see them come further back in the court beyond that encroachment line. Just incredible. Take a look at these guys playing in that short court and how fast and hard they're hitting that ball. Montoya and Conrado both diving and on their knees.
Foot fault called. It was a good serve, but the foot of Moscoso crossed that first red line completely, according to our official from Colombia, Arenas. Better for Moscoso.
First point for the Bolivian. 1 serving 3.
Beautiful again. A little emotion from Moscoso. Two different contrasting styles, these two. Moscoso can be a little bit more fiery. You'll hear him shouting. Montoya stays very calm, very controlled.
One thing, too, to note about Montoya, I feel like he usually feels out his opponent in these early part of game 1. Montoya does a great job of observing his opponent, finding out and kind of adapting his game plan throughout game 1.
Big skip Montoya over on court number 2. De La Rosa with match point 10-7 in the tiebreaker. We'll let you know how that goes.
He's playing Sebastian Franco from Colombia. 3-3.
Oh my goodness. Moscoso flung his body across to the right side, not able to get there. You can see why we can't provide shot-by-shot commentary. They're so fast.
Right. Montoya looking off to the side at his coaches.
Oh, wow.
Effort. I mean, diving and then re-diving almost from his first dive. That's the kind of commitment we can expect to see from Montoya. Moscoso is coached by his father, who's here on the sidelines, and teammate Roland Keller is also behind the coach. Looks like they're going to have Francesco come out and clear off the court for us. San Jose Indoor Club has been a wonderful host. We thank them for all of their efforts and for bringing us out here for the 19th World Championships.
Indeed, we were here a year ago for the Pan Am Championships, and the Costa Ricans really love their racquetball. We've had great action all week, and they've really packed the house, especially for their home fans. We saw last night Acuna fighting hard against De La Rosa. Terrific, terrific environment, Laura. Another foot fault. No line judges for this quarterfinal. Players can request them if they feel like the decisions are not being made correctly. Smart from Moscoso. Really difficult to execute as it came down, but it's one of those situations where if you run up and take that, you can end the point immediately rather than having a rally. Suddenly, it's 4 serving 3. It was 0-3, 4 points in a row for Moscoso. Court number 2 is 10-10.
That's De La Rosa and Franco battling it out for a spot in the semis.
Replay call.
Four, 3.
Well, a little update. 11-10, Laura. Sebastian Franco.
From Colombia, defeating Daniel De La Rosa from Mexico. That means Franco will be moving on to the semifinals.
Wow.
That's a bit of an upset. Mexico has been such a powerhouse at these events, you know, over the years. And to take out De La Rosa, pretty big.
De La Rosa, the number 2 seed. We'll see the number 1 seed, David Bobby Horn, after this match, but I think this match is going to take a while. I saw Horn just a few minutes ago before this match and said, we're looking forward to your match, and he said, yeah, I might be a while yet, because I think he thinks this match is going to be a while. Suddenly the crowd is full as everybody drifts over to court number 1. Oh my word, nice. What a get. Oh my word. Moscoso, Montoya almost got it. Moscoso was cheering almost before the point was down, but you saw the athleticism from Moscoso. He was so close.
Take a look back here at the replay. Just out of reach for Montoya. And Moscoso is such a loud and emotional player that, I mean, it's early on in game 1, and he's just getting started.
Well, and Moscoso needs to be aware that someone as athletic as Montoya, he almost made it. So don't start cheering until the point's over.
Right. And Montoya keeping his cool in the back of the court. He's going to stick to playing his game and not allow Moscoso to get under his skin. 5-3 now, Moscoso serving.
Soft hands for Moscoso. We talked about this yesterday when he defeated Camacho. He has the ability to hit hard and soft, and that makes him a very, very dangerous player. Montoya more known for consistent power. Moscoso demonstrating some soft touch in the front right corner. Another point for the Bolivian. Back in the box, Montoya, coached by Yanko Renteria. Oh, what a serve. Clever from Montoya. The jam serve, the idea is to hit the sidewall so that it bounces back into the middle. It looks like the players going cross court, and you could see Moscoso running to the left to cover that.
Yep.
Didn't see the ball coming into him, and it hit him. Great serve, Montoya. 4-6.
And a broken ball. So they will replay that. Montoya will have another first serve. Rodrigo Montoya from Chihuahua, Mexico, has most of his teammates here looking on, including Paulo Longoria, Alexandra Herrera, and Montse. I don't know if I can find
Montse Mejia.
I know she is a tough name. Montserrat Mejia.
She's the junior world champion from last year, and she and Herrera defeated longtime pair Longoria and Salas in the Mexican Nationals to make it here in a very exciting tiebreaker win. They've enjoyed being here, and they're in action later today. 4-6. Great footwork from Moscoso. Just watch him when he's moving around the court. Just focus on his feet. And you'll see how he really moves his feet well to get into position to hit the shot he wants. Taking small steps to move around and then executing. Beautiful.
It'll be a second serve for Moscoso. Shout out to Eric Cuevas watching out in Mexico.
Behind the back, Moscoso. Montoya skips it, and you just wonder with Montoya, he's really won comfortably all week in his matches. And does he try to do something more special because he's playing Moscoso?
Timeout on the court called by Rodrigo Montoya from Mexico, as he's down right now 4-7. Conrado Moscoso just hits that ball so hard, but Montoya's there for everything, and he's playing really great defense. Montoya hits the ball so hard too. It's just such a battle right now so early in game one.
Yeah, and this is a match where it can go either way. Both of these are very talented. Montoya is just a little bit younger than Moscoso. Moscoso was in the final of the 2014 Junior World Championships. He lost in a tiebreaker to Mario Mercado, who's also playing today. And then Montoya defeated Mexican partner Andre Paria in the final in 2015. So these two know each other very well. They've come up through the juniors together. Age brackets in juniors are by 2 years, and so they know each other. They've seen each other for many, many years. They know what each brings, and we've just never seen them at the senior level before playing each other. And that's what makes this exciting. We have so many young, talented players coming through that we expect to see for many years to come.
Seven serving 4. Side out, that timeout working just as Montoya wanted it to. He puts himself now back in a serving position. Second serve.
Smart shot, Montoya. Moscoso had the first look, didn't put it down. Montoya straight down the line, 5-7. Good timeout from him. He's won a couple of rallies since that. Shows the value of just taking a break and regrouping, having a word with your coach. Flat roll out Moscoso. Really impresses me how much power he generates with his wrists. Just a flick. Doesn't have to take a full swing to generate power. Just a flick. And he's looking to go better than he has at the World Championships. Finalist in 2014, semifinalist in 2016. He wants to go better. Another foot fault called on Moscoso.
I feel like that's something that some referees don't really, look for and notice. So kudos to our referee for watching out for that.
Well, down in front, David, Bobby Horn, Mario Mercado will be playing, and they're sitting next to each other having a chat. It's good to see they're very competitive on the court, but a lot of friendships developed here off the court.
Oh, yeah.
Great get, Montoya. Oh, wow. Moscoso rips the forehand pinch winner.
A lot of times I think at these events, especially at the Worlds where there's so many different players, I know I've seen the juniors do this at their World Championships too, but players will exchange jerseys or shirts at the end, and you really do make some lifelong friends here. You see a lot of cultures and a lot of people coming together at events like this.
And if you ever get the chance to come and watch,
do it.
Definitely do it, because it's one of those experiences that are truly memorable. Oh my goodness, what a get. Montoya wants 2 bounces. Oh, wow. Montoya. Oh, no, he didn't. Jinx.
Wow. Sliding into that, gets his racket on it, and it was like the momentum. It was like the momentum of his racket just gave it that much more force as he's sliding on his knees.
Well, we promised a great match. What a rally.
Take a look. Oh, he just gets the right angle on his racket. Outstanding. That puts him at 9-5 in game 1. Both of these guys are just so quick and so fast.
Well, if you're looking for an advertisement for racquetball and what it brings and why we watch it and love it so much, I think you saw it right there. Not quite Moscoso.
Yeah, nice wide angle from Montoya for the side out, and now his opportunity to score. It's 5-9 in game 1.
Montoya looks to his coach, stands over on the right side, allowing him to go down the line and cross court. Screen serve, good decision. Ball passed too close to Montoya. We use the Gearbox black ball. Montoya wearing black certainly affects the vision of Moscoso when it comes too close to his body. But when it doesn't, he does things like that, which are just too good.
Yeah, that's tough.
I want to say thank you to our sponsors. Gearbox is the official ball, eForce the official racket of the IRF. Of course, if you have a business and are interested in sponsoring the IRF, please do contact us. Help us spread this sport around the world. Really close. So hard to make that split-second decision from our official.
Yeah, they have to be so focused at events like this. They do a great job keeping sharp.
Oh, nice soft hands from Montoya. Five serving 9, excuse me.
Nice full crowd here in Costa Rica. They really do love their racquetball. It's one of the fun things about having them host this event. A great stadium seating for the viewing on our show court.
Great pickup, Montoya. Moscoso. Oh, another great get.
Wow. I tell you, my bones ache just from hearing Montoya hit the floor. He's so defensive. Let's take a look back at this last rally here on our replay. Look at these diving efforts from Montoya.
One of the things I love about Moscoso, he doesn't let Montoya's athleticism affect his shot-making ability. It's easy to do that. We saw it maybe a little bit in our first match with Salas and Martinez. Salas maybe trying a little too hard because Martinez just kept getting ball back over and over and over. And then Salas, maybe I've got to try to roll this out and then start skipping it. Moscoso still playing very clean. Okay, you got that one back. Let's make you run to the other side and get another one back until I have a better opportunity to put the ball down. Montoya wants a screen serve.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Great rally from both players. They both had opportunities. If you're just joining us, this is the 19th World Championships, held every 2 years. 2 years ago in Cali, Colombia. Rocky Carson was the singles winner. Paola Longoria, the women's. This is a quarterfinal.
Nice play from Montoya.
Moscoso trying to be a little cute, maybe making Montoya change his mind. Montoya says, no, I'm too experienced for that.
Montoya rips it to the back of the court. Look at Moscoso creeping with a little turn. It's like a basketball move. Big skip from Moscoso. Another point for Montoya, 7-9.
Yeah, the ball just kissed the sidewall, affecting the swing of Moscoso. Winner of this moves on to the semifinal, guaranteed a bronze medal at the minimum. Around the back for Moscoso. Montoya. Smart pass down the left side, Montoya. Suddenly it's 8-9. Might see Bolivia take a timeout soon. 3 points in a row for the Mexican.
Yeah, Montoya's patience, I think, really paying off right now. He's waiting for his opportunities. He's playing a lot of defense, but he's pushing Moscoso around the court too. He keeps kind of forcing Moscoso into the back of that court and sneaks those balls just by him.
Just a reminder, earlier today, Charlie Pratt defeated Canadian Samuel Murray, Pratt from the USA, in 2 straight games, advancing to the semifinal to play Sebastian Franco from Colombia, who defeated Mexican De La Rosa 11-10 in the tiebreaker.
Timeout from Bolivia, as predicted by fellow commentator Timothy Baghurst here next to me. You really know your racquetball.
Well,
But I think I think it's a good break too for Moscoso. And just a reminder that coming up next, our next match of the day is going to round out our singles quarterfinals streaming, featuring David Horn from USA and Mario Mercado from Colombia, who, as we observed earlier, are down there sitting in the front row together. They are good friends off the court. They were even roommates at one time, a couple of years ago out in the East Bay in California. And so it is nice to see them then battling it out on the court and how that dynamic can really change.
Horn won his match yesterday against Galicia from Guatemala, and Mercado won his against Canadian Iwasa in a 11-9 breaker win. So we'll see if that affects Mercado. A long match last night against Iwasa from Canada can affect the players the next day if they don't take care of hydration and nutrition and rest. So we'll see how Mercado does. But Horn, the #1 seed, certainly the favorite in that match. But we already have Colombia on the other side of the draw, courtesy of Franco. So we'll see if they can get 2 in the semifinals.
Franco eliminated Daniel De La Rosa in the 11-10 tiebreaker a few moments ago. Jumping back here into game 1, 8 serving 9, Montoya and Moscoso. Now Moscoso has his racket up there in the back. Montoya, loss of that first serve. Yeah, he says he checked it and then Moscoso raised it again, but either way, it's a second serve.
Yep. I'm not sure what Moscoso is calling for. Maybe just a hinder replay. So
they replay a second serve? Is that
no, it should be a first serve. Yep.
Huh. Well, then that worked to Montoya's advantage.
It certainly did. Wow.
Or not.
That's incredible hands from Moscoso. Just flicked out his racket. Just pushed it into the front left. Montoya just watching it. Side out 9-8. Great timeout again. We've seen how effective these timeouts can be when the match is close. Moscoso struggling with that first serve. Not necessarily getting it over the line, but we've had several foot faults. We've got some screen serves. He needs a quality first serve to get that advantage.
That's the thing about the drive serve and the players, right, is that sometimes it's so on. Like at the 2016 World Championships, Moscoso's drive serve was on fire. And when Montoya's drive serve is on point, it's unstoppable too. But a couple elements into play.
Montoya will want that one back. Squeezes the ball, hoping it's broken. It's not. A point for Moscoso. Of course, just a reminder, I should mention our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, International Racquetball Federation. You can see all those matches. We streamed a ton of matches in 2016, including Moscoso's loss in the tiebreaker to Rocky Carson.
Yeah, take a look back through the archives. You want to take a little trip down history. Oh.
Moscoso just got caught in the face. I think he's okay. Just a little surprised. We'll see if he gets a replay. I feel like he could have got that ball.
We can take a look back at that interaction out on the court. Between the legs from Moscoso and then Montoya just backing up.
Quite dramatic from Moscoso.
Yeah, a little dramatic.
But he's known for that on the court. He's known for it. He'll walk up to serve, go to serve, and take a timeout. He's definitely a showman on the court. He's very fun to watch. He's also, and I should say both of these players are great off the court too, very friendly and polite,
yes.
Always willing to take photos and things with fans. Truly, these two are going to be on the world stage for many years to come, I think.
And shout out to Rodrigo Montoya's mom, Christina. You know, she's always watching. She always gives me a nice hello. So hi, Christina. Thanks for watching. Cheering on her son.
Should also thank the many officials and staff here at the IRF who've helped to make this event continue. The officials were nobody's paid here. They're tripper covered to come and volunteer their time, and they really do. It's a 10-day event, and so we appreciate all the effort that they give to make this event truly special. Thanks to Marcelo Gomez, the president of Costa Rica Racquetball, and also the president of the Pan American Racquetball Championships. They took this tournament on at short notice and did a wonderful job putting it all together and making this truly special for everybody here and hopefully for you at home as well, or wherever you're watching.
Looks like we do have line judges now in play. There's 2 additional referees on either side, adding some extra eyeballs.
Well, I think part of that is because a replay was called and Montoya thought the ball was down.
good that they can exercise their right to bring in those line judges.
What a rally. Moscoso runs forward.
Oh, and he skips it right up there at the front.
And a smile from Montoya, who knows that Moscoso should have put that one down. He'll take it. Side out, 8-11.
And I think the addition of those line judges we saw in the other Mexican matchup where Samantha Salas played Gabby Martinez from Guatemala, sometimes I think the players just want that extra security, right? And maybe it helps them avoid getting too mentally unraveled when they get a bad call. So they say, you know what? I want those extra eyeballs. I want to at least have the opportunity to make some challenges in case this happens again.
And you know what? When you're a referee, which I was a referee with the IRF for 5 years, it also takes the pressure off you because you're supposed to get the call right every time. And let's face it, we're human. We make mistakes. We can't see everything. Doubles.
For yourself, Tim.
Doubles is so difficult when you have 4 players in the court. They all turn around and say, was that a skip or a rollout?
That's a
well,
lot
there's
of
4 of you in front of me. I don't know. It's too impossible to see. The line judges take that pressure off so that you try and get it right. Montoya with a ripping winner.
Falling backwards a little bit too, and he gets that point. 9-11 in game 1. This is the men's quarterfinals, our first streaming quarterfinal of the day. Rodrigo Montoya from Mexico and Conrado Moscoso from Bolivia.
Montoya has used the jam serve well. Gets an ace. Unreturned by Moscoso. Little shake of his head. It's 10-11. 47 minutes into this match, and we're still in game 1. Wet ball called in that situation. Ball hit a wet spot and sped up. Makes it almost impossible to return. Should mention, sorry, Laura, we should mention in IRF rules, a wet ball can be called at any point during the rally. It's not just the serve, which some nations follow.
I was just going to talk about some of the other elements here too. If we're talking about a wet ball, it's very humid. We have experienced some rain this week. We're playing on cement courts, a little bit of a higher altitude as well, and that gearbox black ball is so fast, so it's tough out there.
Montoya. Beautiful wide angle. I think Moscoso was looking down the right. Montoya hit the wall at the encroachment line, so it pushed the ball back to the back wall. Moscoso will take a timeout. It's 11-11.
What a quarterfinal for us here today. This has been really, really intense. And I love these types of matchups. We've talked about it a little bit before. These are matchups that you're not going to see throughout the season. You're not going to see these necessarily in any other event except the World Championships. World Championships, just a reminder, is every other year. So that just also adds some more excitement to an event like this and adds some weight to the title of World Champion as well.
And a lot of these players get supported by their government, also sponsors, and bringing home medals has an effect on their careers. It's really important for them, not just for the team, not just to win points for their team, but also for the opportunity to continue their profession and to spend more and more time training for that sport. Of course, we have 18 countries here from all over the world, including our officials. You can see Arenas from Colombia is our head official. Mohan, over on the right, is from India. And we have Colombia, India, and Costa Rica representing our officials. A great international contingent for our staff.
Got a couple people watching out of Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Cleveland. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're sharing this stream, guys. The second serve for Montoya as it's tied up 11-11.
Still 11-11. First to 15, win by 1. Montoya will shoot this. Moscoso, did it skip or was it good?
Oh, I thought it skipped. It skipped like a foot away from the front wall.
A foot away, says
That's
Laura
what
McCormick.
I got a bird's eye view up here too.
Both line judges agree.
Whoa, all right. So that puts Montoya up 1 point right now. It's 12-11.
Good turnaround for Montoya. He was down early in game 1, pulled it back. It was 9-5, and now it's 12-11 in his favor. That was loose. Tried to go down the right side.
I think this is what I expect to see from Montoya, is that patience. He feels out his opponent. He doesn't let that pressure get to him, and that's why we're at 12-11.
Well, on cue, Laura. Montoya skips one. Side out for Moscoso. Back and forth we go. Moscoso needs a good drive serve. He struggled with some faults. We know how much power he can produce. That's better. Look at that.
Wow, ace serve.
Montoya is going to take his second and final timeout. So this is the last timeout for either player. Both of them have used 2. So we should see them on the court for the rest of this first game. 12-12, suddenly it's a 1-3.
So tough, and this is just game 1. I love how the crowd is really filled in here. That's one of my favorite things about the World Championships is the team dynamic, right? You see a lot of teams sitting together. I see Venezuela, Korea, Costa Rica sitting over here, Ireland, Mexico cheering on their teammate Rodrigo Montoya, Bolivia, all kind of huddled right now around Conrado Moscoso. We see his teammates Roland Keller and Carlos Keller cheering him on, as well as his father, who's the head coach.
We should also say there's some scouting going on too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We have the coaches from other countries coming in to say, well, I think we may be playing one of these next. Let's take a look. And I know these players and coaches do also go to our YouTube channel and watch matches from previous tournaments to try to figure out what strategies they're going to use when they play each other. So the live stream and the recording of the matches has actually created a good coaching tool for these athletes and those who coach them. But we're back in 12-12.
12-12.
Another ace for Moscoso. 2 in a row.
He's turning it up right here at the end of game 1. Take a look at this ace serve he just whipped out.
Looks like Montoya just slipped a little. One of the things that the officials can do is request that players change their shirts at any point. That helps to stop this process of continually cleaning the court. Of course, we want to make sure they're safe, right? That's priority number 1.
Absolutely.
We've seen some people fall or get injured this week. Fortunately, they've been able to continue playing. But we want to make sure that it's not because the officials are careless, forcing players to play in dangerous circumstances. Wow.
Oh, what a get.
Oh.
Let's What's the call? They're going to replay?
A replay is called.
Wow.
That's one of those ones where an official might actually give a point in favor of Moscoso because Montoya was waiting for the call, didn't get it, and then it continued. Looks like Montoya is changing his shirt.
Actually, my favorite shirt change is something that we've referenced.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
we saw an
you're going
appeal,
back.
and I think Montoya may have been appealing an avoidable hinder. Both line judges agreed with our official. The only time that it changes is when both line judges disagree with our official. So Montoya here is changing his shirt. Moscoso, because it's an official's timeout, is not allowed to exit the court. So he has to stay in because it isn't a timeout. I mentioned they're not supposed to leave the court till we end game one, and here we are. We're leaving the court, but it's because we want to make sure.
Request of an official.
Right, we want to make sure that the rallies continue rather than having to stop after every point.
So Montoya now in the blue shirt for Mexico. Moscoso in the green for Bolivia. Coming up after this, our next match of our singles streaming is David Horn from USA and Mario Mercado from Colombia.
Should also mention some earlier results. Longoria defeated Riveros, Mexico over Colombia in 2 straight. And she will face Maria Jose Vargas from Argentina in the semifinal. Vargas defeated Sabja from Bolivia. In the women's, Rasic lost to Mendez, USA losing to Argentina on the other side of the bracket in 2 straight. And Martinez from Guatemala overcame Salas from Mexico in 2 straight games. So it'll be Longoria versus Vargas and Martinez versus Mendez. Snap of the wrist from Moscoso, game point number 1. Started with some great serving. He's really improved his serve in the latter half of this game. In the men's singles, we mentioned these two will play the winner of Horn and Mercado. On the other side of the draw, Pratt from the USA defeated Murray from Canada in 2 straight games. And he'll be taking on the Colombian Sebastian Franco from who defeated Daniel De La Rosa from Mexico 11-10 in the tiebreaker. Franco sitting in the crowd watching these two. He's got doubles coming up later this afternoon as well.
And Conrado Moscoso is also playing doubles, correct? With Roland Keller for Bolivia.
That's right. Roland Keller here with his brother Carlos Keller. Carlos Keller lost yesterday to Sebastian Franco.
Sebastian Franco has taken out some big names here this tournament. He took out Carlos Keller and Daniel De La Rosa. Montoya now steps back into the service box, 12-14 in game 1.
Second serve. Little expression from Montoya in that we don't usually see that. He's very controlled. 12-14, the pressure is on. He's got to get this serve in. Second serve coming up. Replay called. Montoya gets a first serve. It's a blistering serve. Oh my word, Moscoso.
Sliding from his knees.
Laura, it was a great serve from Montoya, but you have to appreciate the defense of Moscoso. It was a great ceiling ball that gave him the opportunity to get into the point.
Take a look back at this last rally. Moscoso sliding on his knees.
You see why they wear knee pads.
Yeah, we did see them both preparing right before this match, pulling up their knee pads because they knew they were going to be hitting the floor.
Game point number 2. Should be a replay. Moscoso doesn't like it. He'll appeal, but I don't think he'll win it. Both line judges agree. Players have 3 appeals per game. That was a change a couple of years ago from 5. The idea was just, let's cut down the number of appeals. Let's also cut down the number of timeouts, time between game 2 and the tiebreaker to make these matches faster.
Another game point now for Moscoso. Montoya with his racket up in the back. Moscoso doesn't see. That's going to be a loss of a first serve for Moscoso.
And one he wants back because he cracked it. It would have been an ace.
Yikes.
These two playing some games with each other. Nothing wrong with it. They're following the rules.
Yeah.
Side out, avoidable hinder. This time I also agree with the official. Montoya really impeded by Moscoso in the way of that shot. No argument from Moscoso this time. 12-14. See if Montoya hits that jam serve. He's done it twice and 1 point from it. Skip ball called. It sounded like a skip. Montoya looks back to his coach and goes, oh, I was so close.
You could hear that was a piso.
Game point number 3. This time Moscoso waits. Just short. I'd like to see Moscoso throw in a jam serve too. He's consistently aiming for the left corner. Might catch Montoya by surprise.
Oh,
big skip. We know each other well.
We owe each other a couple Cokes by now in this game. And this is just game 1, and we knew that we were going to be in for a really tough battle with these guys, but it's been, what, 4 game points now for Moscoso.
And we've cleared an hour.
Yeah, incredible.
Now it's Moscoso's turn to wait for Montoya.
Yeah,
reminder, players.
Montoya got burned on that, sorry, Tim, before, where he looked back and then Moscoso put his racket up. So I think that's what Montoya was pointing out to the referee.
Skip from Moscoso, point for Montoya.
13-14.
Well, the issue with the rule here is that once the score has been called, players have 10 seconds to serve, and they're not following that right now. And that's partly why we've had a long game 1. The score was called already 10 seconds ago, and Montoya's not even preparing to serve. So this is where he needs to talk to them maybe and just say, you know what, we need to...
Right, like have the referee kind of control that a little bit, lay down some of that law.
Give them maybe both a warning. You're not following this. These are the rules. Of course, the server cannot be affected by the receiver taking over 10 seconds, but it's a combined 10 seconds. Flat rollout, Moscoso. Game point number 4. 14-13. Here we go. Oh, I might appeal that. Yep, Carlos Keller says you need to appeal that. So does his dad. I thought that was good. Both line judges agree. Second serve. Moscoso. Oh, no. Look at Montoya.
Serious. Look at Moscoso look back at his teammates.
Well.
This is just the game that will never end.
Oh, my word.
Now a broken ball, so they'll replay.
So much drama here on court number 1.
What a game. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is only the quarterfinals. These guys are battling for a spot in the semis, and this is the level of competition that we have at our World Championships.
These two are making their own highlight reels.
Man.
Great serve. Moscoso. Will he put it down? He does.
Wow. Ends game 1, 15-13. Sending us into game 2. I hope you all stay on the edge of your seats. We'll be back in just a few moments with more of Conrado Moscoso from Bolivia and Rodrigo Montoya from Mexico.
The gearbox leather sticks to my hand like it is my skin.
The best feeling in the world. You pull that thing out of the package and you can kind of just feel it still molded into the way they packaged it.
It's honestly one of the best feelings ever. You put the new glove and you're like, I got this. It's so light and so comfortable that I feel like I'm playing with my bare hand.
The grip is a lot better, so I love having new gloves.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the IRF World Championships in Costa Rica. You're watching Rodrigo Montoya and Conrado Moscoso, Mexico and Bolivia.
So what you're watching right now is the official, Arenas, from Colombia, is actually having a conversation between the two, just reminding them about the 10 seconds after the score is called. They're spending way too much time preparing, playing the little games with the racket raised. They shouldn't be doing that. This is a fast-paced sport. We want to stay on time. We want to see action. We don't want to see people standing around just waiting. Also, recognize that when they are standing around, they're very hot and sweaty, and they make the court that little bit wetter. So we want to see them get on with it.
That's the thing that I like, though, is when a referee can really show their presence and control over the court as well. Okay.
What a get, Moscoso. And again, oh, Montoya skips it. Really terrific defense from Moscoso throughout that point, just to stay in it. Eventually, Montoya maybe felt a little too much pressure, puts it in the floor.
Such a tough game one. A reminder for those of you just tuning in, it was 15-13. There was 5 game points. We had a broken ball. We had a couple replays. Now these guys have regrouped, coming back into game 2. Moscoso serves. It's 0-1.
Great serve. Gives him what he wants. Oh my goodness. Players ran into each other there. Moscoso gets up. Glad they're both okay. You can see the effort from both players. Should be a replay, I think. Montoya might argue for an avoidable hinder because Moscoso ran into him, but I think it was just accidental and a safety replay.
You can see that there on the screen. It's good that they'll replay. It's also good when they do hold up in a situation like that. We do advocate for safety first.
Well, not sure what Moscoso's asking for. There's an appeal on the court. One line judge agrees and one disagrees. Moscoso's the one appealing. Having a conversation, but this is where the Colombian referee needs to say, point is over, you lost the appeal, let's play.
Right, keep things moving.
So loss of appeal for Bolivia at 1-0. Montoya to serve. Such drama on court number 1. Mexico need a tiebreaker. A reminder, Daniel De La Rosa lost 11-10 in his quarterfinal to Colombian Sebastian Franco.
Franco taking out some big hitters. He also took out Carlos Keller, who I thought we would be seeing in these late rounds.
Yeah, De La Rosa, the finalist 2 years ago.
Right.
And a reminder, Rocky Carson, the 5-time defending champion, is not playing singles here at the World Championships. So we will have a new world champion for the first time since 2008. Who will it be? Right now, there's only a few players left in the draw. Wow. Perfect. A little tap from Montoya. Terrific play from Moscoso. Tremendous footwork. Willing to bend low. Takes leg strength to get down there and hit flat.
Second serve from Moscoso.
Through the legs, Moscoso. Beautiful that time, Montoya. Moscoso tried to guide one in. He didn't get there, or he didn't put it down. Montoya shows him what to do. Both of these players so experienced, and Montoya, of course, playing on the professional tour. Moscoso, not so much. He was at the U.S. Open last year, but really, unless you follow international racquetball, you're not familiar with Moscoso, but what a player he is. Semi-finalist 2 years ago, finalist as a 17-year-old 4 years ago, and Laura, it's tremendous the support that Bolivia give to their racquetball players. In fact, his final as a 17-year-old was streamed on Bolivian national TV.
Racquetball is just so big in Bolivia too. I mean, they have tournaments, and there are just hundreds of people that come out for a local tournament.
Great juniors programs, really always bring a talented group. and so they're always competitive for the team title. Of course, here, players are competing not only for themselves, but they also earn points for their team. Mexico are the defending champions.
So Moscoso was asked by the referee to change his shirt. He'll be receiving as Montoya serves 1-0.
Beautiful from Montoya, kept his composure. Flick of the wrist down the right side. Moscoso a little animated, 2 serving 0. Second serve. Well, we planned a 2-hour break in the afternoon. I don't think we're going to get it because Moscoso and Montoya were already 75 minutes in, and it's just the beginning of game 2.
That's right. We have Horn versus Mercado to finish up the singles, and then we'll be going into the doubles later this afternoon.
Moscoso flings his body to the left side, doesn't pick it up. Another point for Montoya, starting to play a little bit more controlled, moving Moscoso around the court. Plenty of action going on today. We've finished almost with singles. We got one more coming up for you. But then we also have doubles going on, which began. You can check out the draw on our website, internationalracquetball.com. We'll have some more doubles action for you as we continue with the quarterfinals later this afternoon.
That's right. So we're still waiting for the final determination of who wins in this round of 16s happening right now in doubles to find out who will be playing later today in the quarterfinals.
That's right. On paper, we could have a tantalizing matchup between Colombia and the U.S. in men's doubles if they both win their matches. This is good to see. Moscoso helping up his opponent. These two showing a lot of respect to each other. Great competitors, giving everything for their country. I find it interesting, Laura, that Moscoso has consistently served over to Montoya's backhand.
Yeah.
And yet Montoya, if you watch him, is quite well known for his backhand. And his forehand, most people would consider is the weaker side. But he hasn't really attacked that side. Played doubles Montoya in the Pan Am Championships, winning with Beltran in the final over Bolivia in a tiebreaker.
That was tough.
Montoya played the backhand.
Again, check out those past matches on the YouTube channel for International Racquetball. See some of these outstanding matches that were referenced.
Point for Montoya, cracks out, 4 serving 0. Starting to take control in this second game. Moscoso seemed to do better when the pace was quicker. It's become very slow. Like to see our official keep things moving. Wow, great get, Montoya. And another replay. Moscoso frustrated with himself.
And Montoya switching up that serve. He's also been serving to Moscoso's backhand, switches it up to the forehand and changes things a little bit there.
Yeah, Moscoso got what he wanted, and he just hit the sidewall. He was trying to go down into the right corner, hit the sidewall, came back into the middle. That's why Montoya gets the replay. Watch how Montoya turns his racket just before he serves, right there. Almost turns it over completely.
Oh man, these guys just really
Point given.
jammed up in there.
Point given this time. Moscoso doesn't argue that one. It's gotten a little scrappy from him. The difference between game 1 and game 2. Just those 2 minutes, and Montoya's really settled down. Well, I'm not sure why that was a fault. Great pickup, Montoya. Wow. Oh my goodness, Moscoso. Replay called. Montoya debates whether to appeal for an avoidable hinder. Looks to his coach, Renteria. Replay, says his coach.
You know, these guys changed their shirts, but still after every rally, we got to go out and wipe down those courts.
Well, we should mention we're here in San Jose, Costa Rica. It is very, very hot in here. There is no room. A lot of people. Of course, these guys are flying around the court. What creates that humidity, which immediately creates sweat on their bodies, so when they dive, they're going to leave wet spots on the court.
(5-0) in game 2.
Better from Moscoso. Cracks on the left side, side out. We should also mention, you know, this is a big moment for these players. They're fighting for a medal at the World Championships to finish in the top 4 in the world. This is a who's who of racquetball, and so there's a lot at stake.
Timeout called by Conrado Moscoso.
And he's down 5-0, sits down, has a word with his teammate Carlos Keller to his right. You can see his father, Moscoso. A great supporter of racquetball, a very friendly character, very positive when he coaches. You don't see him getting very negative or down. He's always encouraging Moscoso, and you know, Moscoso, the South American champion from this summer. A reminder that the IRF were part of a couple of big events this summer, the Bolivarianos Games, the South American Games, and the Central American Caribbean Games.
Yeah, these guys have been playing a lot of racquetball in the last couple months.
They have, and the Central Americans just finished about 10 days ago, and it was a long 10-day tournament for them. So these players are very experienced at the international level, but they've worked hard this summer, and Moscoso came out of the South Americans in his home country, Bolivia, with a individual title and a doubles title. So he's very experienced. Of course, Montoya, we know, is experienced as well. Both of these competed as juniors in the World Championships. As in the 18s division, Montoya won it. Moscoso came second the year before him.
And this is Montoya's first year on the Mexico national team. We saw him at the IRF Panamericanos in Chile, and then the other events that we were just naming too. So he's having a great 2018.
Oh my goodness, Moscoso, did you see that? Jumping through the legs, wins the point. Great timeout, 1 serving 5. They make it look so easy, so natural. Yet it requires tremendous skill. Look at Moscoso going to the lob serve on the first serve. Montoya steps up, hits it early, difficult to execute, good decision. If he allows that ball to bounce, now he has to back up further away from the front wall to execute a more difficult shot. The challenge is you have to be confident in your ability to take that ball on the fly. Montoya showed exactly how he can do that.
Rodrigo Montoya from Chihuahua, Mexico, and Conrado Moscoso from Sucre, Bolivia. 2 really big hotbeds for racquetball. You see a lot of players coming out of Chihuahua, Mexico. You see a lot of players coming out of Bolivia. As we talked about, Bolivia has such a big following of racquetball. At the Bolivarianos, there were lines around the corner to get into the finals.
Ball hits Moscoso, may have taken an unusual bounce off the door. Court hinders can be called by officials. There's no designated court hinders. Example, you can see our camera on the front wall. If it hits that, the official can call that a court hinder. Wet balls as well can be called at any point.
Second serve for Montoya.
Skip ball called by Moscoso. He wanted it to be good, but another point for the Mexican. What a difference from game one.
7-1. I feel like Montoya's really controlling the momentum and the game right now, right? You mentioned that Moscoso is not handling it so well since they're playing so slow, and that's what Montoya is really controlling.
There's a nice touch from Moscoso. Again, showing a little control, not just power. Interesting that Moscoso switched to the lob serve just a couple of serves ago. Now it looks like, no, he's going back to the lob. Maybe a lob down the right side from this position. Nope, over to the left. That time it's Montoya that skips it. He'll want that one back. Moscoso should have put that one down. Gave Montoya an opportunity. But another point for Bolivia. Make that 2 in a row from the racket of Montoya. Talking to himself a little bit. Well, players have to bring several shirts to the matches because the official can ask them to change at any point. We saw in 2016 a funny story in the final when the American Carson was asked to change his shirt, and he said, "I only brought one." 5-time world champion. So he had to borrow one from his coach.
Literally took the shirt off his coach's back. Dave Ellis gave him his shirt that day.
Sacrifice from the head coach. Replay. Ball came at him quick. Unsighted by Moscoso in the front.
Three serving 7.
Wow, what a great shot from Montoya. Just came off the back wall. Perfect. Side out.
Coming up after this, our next streaming match will be David Horn from USA and Mario Mercado from Colombia. That's another men's quarterfinal match. And then depending on what time it is, I think it's 3 p.m. Mountain Time, we will be starting our doubles. So make sure you guys check internationalracquetball.com. We'll be updating that schedule as some of those round 16s are actually happening right now in doubles to determine who will be playing later today.
Wow, another beautiful shot from Montoya. Look at how he moved his feet to follow the ball off the back wall. Ripped it for another winner. 9 serving 3.
Such a different game, too. Moscoso won game 1 15-13 with about 5 game points.
Might be a situation where our official could hold off on that screen serve. I don't think Moscoso wanted the screen. The screen shouldn't benefit the server. Great gets from Moscoso. Terrific defense. Oh my word. Not quite. Moscoso flinging his body around the court. Another point for Montoya.
That puts us at 10-3.
Well, just a reminder, Laura, at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, women's doubles. Guatemala got a bye, and they will take on either Japan or Argentina. We'll let you know the matchup for that once we know the scores from the round of 16. And then we move into men's doubles. 2 matches for you. Either Guatemala or Colombia will take on either the United States or Korea. And then we round out the evening. Either Bolivia or Ireland will take on Japan or the home favorites, of course, Costa Rica. Should be a great matchup, especially if Costa Rica are able to overcome Japan, because this place will be rocking. We heard it last night, cheering, chants, screaming, groans. We had it all here as both Camacho and Acuna fought hard but were unable to advance to the quarterfinals in men's singles.
And Costa Rica does turn out a great crowd here no matter what, but man, if Costa Rica is in the quarterfinals, we're going to need earplugs up here.
Hope you're enjoying the action. Thank you to everybody who shared this stream. Such a long match, back and forth. Montoya looking for a tiebreaker. We just cleared 90 minutes, and we're still in game 2.
And this is the quarterfinals. That's what's so exciting and interesting. We have a 90-minute quarterfinal match in game 2 here live in Costa Rica at the World Championships.
Replay called. Moscoso doesn't like it. He's having a discussion. Not sure what was said in that situation. I guess just asking him to keep an eye out for something. These two are so quick. You can see why replays are called. Balls that would otherwise be down against other competitors are not so in this match. Moscoso. See, this is where he wants the avoidable hinder because Montoya was in his way. A replay called and Moscoso just literally stopped playing. Like, come on.
Frustrated.
Give me the call.
There's a lot of these, yeah.
What a get, Moscoso. Through the legs, Montoya. Oh, wow. What a shot. The crowd love it here. Tremendous athleticism from the Bolivian. Not only did he stay in the point, but he did something effective when he had the opportunity. You can check out the replay. Great effort. Montoya keeps his composure, gets the side out with a beautiful backhand pinch winner. He got it.
Scoops it up.
Not that time. Montoya, smart shot down the left side. Mexico just playing cleaner. Moscoso is able to retrieve a lot of balls, but he's giving Montoya the opportunity to really attack.
11-3 in game 2. Nice lead for Rodrigo Montoya. He's really just taken over control of game 2. He's playing his game now, and he's not allowing Moscoso to get into his own groove.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The momentum shift is definitely there. Montoya is hitting the cleaner. Moscoso, again, playing amazing defense and hitting some outrageous shots, but is hitting the sidewall, ball bouncing back in the middle. Not rolling him like he was in game number 1. Broken ball.
Oh man, that's the second one this match.
And I don't think that ball would have made it. So Montoya says thank you very much again. We'll take a replay just like he did at the end of game 1. If you're just joining us, we're here at the World Championships. This is the men's quarterfinals. We have one more coming up. Women's quarterfinals are decided. 2 players from Argentina in those semifinals, Vargas and Mendez, along with Guatemala and Martinez. And the defending champion, she's back. Paola Longoria from Mexico will likely be the favorite to take the crown once again. Blistering serve, Montoya. Unreturned by Moscoso. 12 serving 3. Bolivia, no timeouts available. Soft touch, Moscoso.
Threw off Montoya.
These two have hit some wonderful shots today. Not only did they display their power and athleticism, but also their control. Moscoso sticking with the lob. It's a good one. That time Montoya skips one.
4 serving 12. First point for Moscoso in a while.
Another skip, forehand side. Montoya, he had the opportunity he wanted. Moscoso's return was a little high. He just went for too much. He's going to take his timeout. Mexico's first. He has one more remaining. Probably a wise timeout. A few skips from him. Has a conversation with his coach, Renteria. Down to my right. Over to the left. Moscoso surrounded by teammates Carlos Keller and Roland Keller. Reminder, they're playing doubles together, Roland and Moscoso. Defending, or I should say, the South American champions.
There's been a lot of racquetball for these players in the last couple months. They've been at a lot of different tournaments.
Should also mention, while we have the opportunity, the IRF has 2 more tournaments this year. We have the Senior World Championships, which will be in about 10 days' time. If you're over 35 and you're able to get to Albuquerque, New Mexico, IRF legend Gary Mazeroff runs a terrific tournament there across singles and doubles. We also have a new division this year. English Racquetball, or Squash 57 as it's called, will be on display as well. So it's a great tournament, lots of matches, round robin. Everybody has a really good time. Then, of course, in November, we will have the Junior World Championships in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. 3rd through the 10th of November. So we hope you enjoy the coverage we provide for those, but also, if you can, join us, participate, or come as a fan. Point given. Montoya will appeal this. He felt he could have got it. It was right down the line. Both line judges agree. You can see Montoya. He shows the line judges and referee how high the ball was. Well, 3 officials agree that the shot was too good for Moscoso. Suddenly, Moscoso has 6. but makes a errant shot on the right side. Montoya 3 points away from a tiebreaker. 12, serving 6. On his knees, Montoya. See, this is where Moscoso says, well, you just gave it to me last time.
It's like off.
Well, he has an appeal. Why not use it? He's only used 1 appeal. He has 3. Laura, I think that's an opportunity where you say, I might as well take the opportunity to appeal that.
If you don't use it, you lose it, right? Like they'll wipe down that court one more time.
Thanks to everybody who's helped to keep the matches on course, including the staff. It's enjoyable to come back to San Jose and appreciate the efforts not only of the club but also the fans who really understand racquetball here.
And for those of you watching, I always encourage you to ask your friends to watch too. You know, I think it's fun. If they've never played before, this is an amazing event that really showcases these athletes. And you can encourage them with some of the rules. And I think we do a lot of discussion to hopefully include some of those new people. So even those who have been playing racquetball, I hope you always learn something new from listening to this commentary.
Well, let's hope we provide them with something new in our commentary. Moscoso sticking with the lob serve. That's just too good from...
Uh-oh.
Well, let's see. I don't know what Moscoso's asking for because it looked perfect from our position. His dad wants him to appeal it.
It looks like he's going to appeal.
So 1 agrees and 1 disagrees. Call stands. Loss of appeal. He has 1 remaining. This is where Moscoso has to just regroup, focus on the next point, and let that one go. Great pickup, Moscoso, but that's even better for Montoya. Forehand pinch winner. Knew Moscoso was in the back right. Put it down. Another point for Mexico.
Take a look back at that last rally as they wipe down the court between the legs from Moscoso. He just can't get to that left corner.
Very, very hot and humid in here. Free saunas all around, Laura. It's very warm in this court number 1. You also have to appreciate the humidity and the training that's required to maintain composure and athleticism throughout this match. Some countries, coming from maybe cooler climates, it's definitely a learning experience for them being here in such a warm environment. It affects the ball. It makes the ball move quicker. Looks like Montoya is appealing. Said Moscoso couldn't get that. No, I don't think he is.
Nope.
Looks to his coach, and his coach says, no, keep going.
And talking about the different countries that are here, there's 18 different countries at this 19th World Championship, including countries that we don't see too often except at events like this, including Ireland, Korea, Japan, Switzerland, and India. And then, of course, we have countries like Venezuela, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Chile. What else do we see out there? USA, Mexico.
13-6. Loose from Moscoso. Wow, what a pickup. Beautiful from Montoya. Great defense again from Moscoso, but it's really Montoya who's driving this second game, claims a game point. Let's see if he can take it to a tiebreaker.
skips it.
Backing away, he pushed it into the floor. Yeah, Laura, I had a contact from somebody in Moldova this morning. How do I start an association in Moldova? I'm really interested in racquetball. This is what our coverage gives. It gives opportunities to share racquetball around the world. And, you know, if you have a passport from a country or maybe a birth certificate of a parent, you know, maybe you're eligible to represent that country at a World Championships. Maybe you're interested in starting. Do contact us. Send us a message through Facebook or our website. Beautiful hands from Moscoso.
Yeah, just gets that racket on it. It's not only those quick hands, but that wrist strength that we've been admiring from him all match.
They get very close to each other during these rallies.
Wow, rips it. Side out for Montoya.
I do find it interesting that Moscoso moved away from the drive serve. Curious to know why exactly, because he had some unreturned serves, especially at the end of game one. Great serve, Montoya gets what he wants. And Moscoso skips it on the right side. Montoya takes game number 2, 15-7. We're an hour and 47 minutes into this match, and we're going to a tiebreaker.
Just outstanding. I love watching this. We're going to a tiebreaker. Here we go. Before we go in there, I'll give a quick shout to Jose Rolando Calderon Navarro. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back with game 3 in just a few moments.
The gearbox leather sticks to my hand like it is my skin.
The best feeling in the world. You pull that thing out of the package and you can kind of just feel it still molded into the way they packaged it.
It's honestly is one of the best feelings ever. You put the new glove and you're like, I got this. It's so light and so like comfortable that I feel like I'm playing with my bare hand.
The grip is a lot better, so I love having new gloves.
Welcome back, everyone. It's game 3. I'd like to thank everyone who's watching. We appreciate your support. I wish I could shout you all out, but we're ready to jump into game 3 here at the IRF World Championships men's quarterfinals.
It's a tiebreaker, first to 11, win by 1. That's not how Moscoso wanted to start. First point for Mexico. Montoya fighting to be the only male player from Mexico in the last 4. De La Rosa lost 11-10 earlier in the day to Sebastian Franco. Crisp hitting from Montoya. Starts with the serve that stays up from Moscoso. 2 quick points.
Yeah, we saw Montoya really take control in game 2. He's controlling that tempo. Moscoso plays such a fast match, and he's so intense that you can see him. He doesn't hold up for much. He really keeps firing off his serves. He keeps things moving, whereas Montoya controlling this tempo is what I think really helped him get the victory in game 2. He won 15-7. And he's leading now 2-0 in our tiebreaker.
We should mention his serves are just bullets. But that was terrific from Moscoso that time. The ball came off the back wall. He handled it well on his backhand with a pinch winner. Side out. We'll see. Moscoso in game 1 was hitting drive serves to the left side. Several foot faults, several screen serves, but he also got a couple of unreturned serves, some free points. In game 2, he switched to the lob serve to the left side. We've talked, Laura, already that Montoya is really known for a terrific backhand, and maybe the forehand's a little weaker. Moscoso hasn't tested it very much, sticking with the serve to the left side. Back to the drive serve he goes. Little short. Not a good serve. Moscoso came off the back wall. Look at how much power Montoya generates in such a small space.
Yeah, I am still surprised that he's serving to that backhand with Montoya. But Montoya has also been attacking Moscoso's backhand on this serve. He occasionally switches it up to the forehand.
Yeah, that was a screen serve. I'm sure if we asked Montoya, he would have, Moscoso. Replay called, safety hold up. It looked like Montoya was out of the way. On the screen serve, I'm sure if you asked Moscoso, did you want that shot? He would have probably said yes. It was coming straight back down the middle. Second serve. Now that's a first serve, courtesy of that replay. Wow, great pickup, Montoya. Moscoso doesn't like it. He's not used to playing somebody, perhaps, that's as quick as he is on the court. Montoya, I think, could have made that. Good decision from our official.
For those just tuning in, Conrado Moscoso from Bolivia won game 1, 15-13. Rodrigo Montoya from Mexico won game 2, 15-7. This is now the tiebreaker where Montoya leads 2-0. First to 11.
Well, this is a big, big moment for both players. Of course, Moscoso has been competing at the senior level since he was a teenager. Montoya, his second experience as an adult. He competed earlier this year at the Pan Am Championships.
Oh, big skip. Another point for Montoya, 3-0.
I like the serve, forcing Moscoso to turn around. Maybe feels like he has to do too much himself because of the quickness and power of his Mexican opponent. A serve for Montoya. 4 serving 0. We do see a timeout courtesy of Moscoso. Good timeout. It's first to 11. You only have 2, but you take them when you need them. Of course, as we near the conclusion of this match, just a reminder, men's singles coming up, the last quarterfinal. David Bobby Horn of the United States against Mario Mercado from Colombia. Mercado, the 2014 Junior World Champion. Montoya, the 2015 Junior World Champion. So it's great to see some of these young, talented players coming through the system and appearing here at the adult level. Mercado, back in 2014, defeated Moscoso in a tiebreaker win in that final. So we look at that and we see 3 of the last 8 in finals at the Junior Worlds, and it shows how these players progress through the Junior Worlds into the world stage. One of the little statistics I went back and looked at a few years ago, no world champion has ever not won a Junior World Championship. In order to win a world championship, you have to win at the junior level. So it shows how that progression of going through the juniors gives you that experience, technique, training. Here we are, four serving 0. We'll see if the timeout helps Moscoso. Z serve coming up to the left side. It's a good one. Montoya will shoot. What a get. And again. Oh, that's great from Moscoso. He had to hit 3 terrific shots, courtesy of the defense of Montoya.
Moscoso needs to get some points here. He needs to get himself on the board. I think he's got to look at it in 1 point at a time type basis.
He's very experienced. He's been in these situations before. It's not new. At the same instance, he probably rarely plays somebody as quick and as powerful as Montoya. You saw how quick Montoya was to pick up some of those balls, where normally Moscoso would expect that ball to be down. Great entertainment between these two. Just a little long. Hits the back wall before it bounces. Second serve coming. Beautiful from Moscoso. Was very patient on that last shot, letting it drop. Montoya testing his knee. Might have hit it as he dove. But a point for Moscoso.
1 serving 4.
Timeout Mexico. Well, the drama continues. Back and forth they go. They're experienced. They know to use timeouts. They know when to use them, and it's when they need them.
And this is one of my favorite things about, or I guess he just changed his racket, so it's not an official timeout.
Right, looks like he broke his strings.
But this is what I love about these group kind of events, like the Pan Americanos, like the World Championship, is you have that team environment, you have a coach there, you have people who are supporting you and who are giving you that type of advice, like what serves to hit. They're telling you what your opponent's weakness is. You have those eyes outside of the court assisting
It really does make a huge difference, because you can't always see it when you're playing. You're thinking about all these things going on the court, and you may not notice those little things that might give you an advantage. It really highlights the value of coaching. And in this situation, having somebody right there, even if they're not able to, provide you with all the answers, they give you options and perspective, and even just an encouragement of you can do this. Moscoso skips it. Don't expect that from him.
Yeah, this is tough. I feel like normally he would make those shots, so I wonder if he's just a little bit mentally exhausted right now. He's not as focused as he was and as sharp in game 1.
Well, and potentially physically. We've just cleared 2 hours. 2 hours of competition. Very hot and humid court. Hydration, so important. Wow, Montoya. Oh, don't hit that. My goodness, that was close. Fortunately, Moscoso doesn't hit Montoya, but I think an avoidable hinder would have been given had he held up in that situation.
This is tough. I mean, these long matches are, I think, where it really comes down to who has been training and who has been more prepared for a situation like this, because it's so important that you're practicing when you're as exhausted as you could be at a 2-hour time limit. No matter how likely it is that you're going to be in that situation, leading up to a big event like this, that the likelihood increases in this case.
Absolutely. Moscoso preparing for his drive serve, not watching his opponent.
Montoya with that racket up in the back. We saw more of that in game 1.
We did. We'll see a lob to the left, likely. Montoya flat rolls it. Side out. Serve was a little short. I think it hit Montoya on the way up.
Yeah.
Moscoso a little grateful because it was a wild return. That'll be a replay.
Four serving 1.
Beautiful from Moscoso. Very difficult to execute. He saw it coming, prepared for it. Side out 1-4. Back and forth we go in this tiebreaker. Of course, don't forget, coming up today, 4 more matches. We have 1 more singles, 3 doubles matches. Beautiful hands from Moscoso. Montoya wants a replay, not that time. Great snap of the wrist from the Bolivian. A point 2, serving 4. Of course, the winner of this will play in our neck against the person who wins our next match. Horn from the United States, Mercado from Colombia. Just a mistake from Moscoso. Side out. On the other side of the draw, American Charlie Pratt will face the Colombian Sebastian Franco. So 2 Americans trying to reach the semifinals, 2 Colombians. Great get, Montoya. Oh, that's terrific hands from Montoya. Look at the little emotion, Laura, in his fist. Don't usually see that. That was an important point.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling that confidence. He needs this. He's looking to take this all the way to 11 points and send himself to the semifinals.
And you can see Moscoso in the back was kind of slapping himself with the racket. He's frustrated. He knows he could have won that rally. And the women's side of the draw, Mexican Paola Longoria will face Maria Jose Vargas from Argentina. They've played each other many times before. That's semifinal number 1. Semifinal number 2. Ana Gabriela Martinez from Guatemala will face Argentine Natalia Mendez.
Yeah, if we thought we already had some outstanding matches today, tomorrow it's just going to get bigger and better.
Little short was the serve. Second serve coming up. Montoya. That's better. Took it at the encroachment line. It's great to see the respect these 2 players have for each other. Friendly environment, very competitive, but a lot of appreciation. 6 serving 2 in favor of Mexico right now.
I think that's what's so wonderful too, is that these players are representing their countries. They're good sports, so not only are they nice enough to each other, but they have to be respectful. They're wearing their country's jersey. This is a big deal.
It really is, and they're also fighting for a team title.
Yes, there's a lot on the line here, and these guys handle it with grace.
Moscoso hoping for a skip serve. He's not going to get one. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Should be unavoidable. And Montoya skips it. We'll have some kind of appeal. No. It's Renteria. No, we are going to have an appeal, and I think the appeal was that was a crazy rally. Can we just replay?
Let's take a look back at that rally.
So Rodrigo Montoya is saying he hit Moscoso on the backswing. He's not going to get the call, and if anything, it looked like Moscoso was affected by Montoya during that rally. Wild and crazy it was. It looks like a side out. Lots of conversation around me on what the result of that rally should be. You can see both players, Montoya in particular, unbelievable defense to stay in that rally.
Montoya and Moscoso, Mexico, Bolivia, who will be moving on to the semifinals tomorrow. That's what these guys are battling. And coming up after this, we have one more streaming singles quarterfinal. Horn from USA and Mercado from Colombia. Here we go, 6 serving 2. Sorry, 2 serving 6. Moscoso will serve.
There's a hum around us. Plenty of people live streaming this match on their phones. We hope you appreciate all of the camera angles that we've had today. Thank you all for your support of racquetball as we try to spread it around the world. It's been great to have so many reporters contact us for photos and comments, and we're more than happy to try and help do what we can. Great serve. Montoya stays in it. Oh my goodness, what hands. Oh, that's amazing. What a rally from Moscoso. Terrific defense from Montoya. But Moscoso, the Bolivian, hits a flat winner.
I think this is some of the momentum and, kind of self-cheering that Moscoso needs right now.
What a get. Oh, no way. If you want the description of a rollout, that's what you just got. Amazing from both players. What a pickup from Moscoso. Look at how quickly he gets back up to the center of the court. But Montoya, unbelievable. Little fist pump from him. Means so much to these players. Incredible racquetball on display. We knew, Laura, this would be a great match. It certainly turned out to be what we hoped. Oh, wow. The technique was incredible. Moscoso's asking Montoya, or asking the referee if Montoya can change his shirt. It's actually a good request. Every time Montoya dives, we've got a minute or two of cleanup. So,
the other thing, too, about these players, maybe we could talk about some of the requirements of what they're required to wear as part of, like, a uniform, because what I've noticed in the past is they're wearing those knee pads, and those get wet, too, and that's not something that they would change, right? And they couldn't be requested to change shorts or knee pad. What would your expertise on that be?
That's actually a really good question. I believe that any attire, usually it's the shirt, just because that's what gets wet the most, can be changed, but you're absolutely right. The knee pads in a lot of situations soak up a lot of sweat and create that moisture on the court. We've had some drama this week about matching uniforms in doubles, And in warm-ups, the rules state that in doubles, the pair have to warm up exactly the same. And that's actually been changed. They've backed off, the IRF have backed off on that at the request of players and coaches so that they don't have to match exactly.
Just in the warm-up.
Great serve. Oh my goodness, Montoya got lucky.
Look at that smile, he knows it.
Frames it, he says. I framed it, but he'll take it.
We have that replay on the front. That was the only recording that we had. Look at this.
Bullet of a serve.
Power. And yeah, you could see that kind of bounce off the phone.
Smile with his coaches. He'll take it. 6 serving 3. Moscoso has to regroup. It was a great serve, and really Montoya got a little lucky. Moscoso needs to say, how did I get those 3 points? How do I get those side outs? Need to continue with that. What a match.
6 serving 3 in our tiebreaker.
Oh, avoidable.
Runs into each other.
Great decision from our official, avoidable hinder. You saw how Moscoso faked the swing. You're allowed to do that. You're even allowed to swing and miss. Faked the swing to take a better shot, ran into Montoya. Montoya thought he would hit the first. Side out. Good decision from our official.
Tricky, tricky.
Credit to our officials. They've done a great job this week. Excellent serve. Comes off the back wall. Montoya, another pickup. Avoidable hinder, surely. Montoya doesn't like it. You can see his hands open up. He's going to appeal. I think he's going to lose this appeal.
I mean, these guys have really been running into each other. It's like both referees, both line judges agree with the head referee.
Right, and we talked about how Montoya or Moscoso may not be used to playing somebody as quick and as athletic as Montoya. They do play very close to each other. Montoya may not be used to playing somebody like Moscoso, who really moves his feet well to get in position. Looks like we have a timeout on the court taken by Mexico. Probably a wise one, given that Montoya is a little bit upset about that last call. It's 4 serving 6. Well, just a reminder, we have more matches coming up. We've already talked about the singles. The doubles, we don't know yet who will be on this court because they're playing some round of 16s before they reach the quarterfinals. 3 p.m. Mountain Time, we'll see if that holds true. These matches have really extended into the day. Guatemala got a bye into the quarterfinals courtesy of their seed. They'll take on either Japan or Argentina. And then after that, 2 men's doubles, Guatemala or Colombia will be playing either USA or Korea. Based on seedings, we expect to see Colombia, USA. Who knows? And then we round out with Bolivia or Ireland against Japan or Costa Rica. Again, we would expect to see Bolivia against the home favorites, Costa Rica. We don't know. Moscoso, though, will be back on this court if he's able to overcome Ireland with his partner Roland Keller. 4 serving 6. Wow. Oh my goodness, Moscoso. Truly amazing retrieval from Montoya. And again, Moscoso maybe felt he had to do too much in that situation. Buries it into the floor. Great timeout, Montoya. Just forcing Moscoso, hey, hit one more shot, hit one more shot. I can get this back. What an athlete.
Yeah, he's just so fast. He gets to so many things. It's got to be frustrating Moscoso, who is also incredibly fast.
And another skip from Moscoso. That's 2 rallies won by Montoya since that timeout. 4 points away from the match. Moscoso looks up to the left at the screen to see his score. He checks how many timeouts he has. He needs a side out here. Great serve, Montoya. Wow.
Oh, it's short.
Great rallies, great rallies.
Down the line from Moscoso. And Montoya was so close to getting that.
Well, Moscoso actually, I'm not sure if that was what he intended. He hit the side wall, it hit the front wall, and instead of going to the right, bounced left. And Montoya almost made it even then, but Moscoso 4 serving 7. See if he sticks with the drive serve, consistently aiming for that left corner. I'd like to see him throw just something different in. Montoya is looking for it over in that left corner. Hit the jam, hit one down the right side. Just keep Montoya a little bit wrong-footed, because right now, so far in this tiebreaker, he hasn't had much joy from it. Wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful from Moscoso. Again, Montoya displaying what an athlete he is to stay in that point. This time Moscoso doesn't get carried away, puts the ball down with a flat winner. Look at how patient he is. Look at his footwork as he moves back before moving forward. It's hard to do when you've been playing for over 2 hours. Still maintaining your speed, your footwork, your power. It's a point for Bolivia. He really needed that.
That was nice. I mean, and he's only within 2 points right now of Montoya. It's 5 serving 7. It's pretty tough to keep that court dry right now. It is pretty humid here in Costa Rica. We have been experiencing some rain on and off this week, although today is a gorgeous day here in San Jose. And we'd like to thank our host club, San Jose Indoor Club, has been a most gracious host. They've taken really good care of all the players and all the fans. 5 serve 7, game 3.
Bullet from Moscoso. Wow, snap at the wrist.
Tries to get it anyway.
I mean, these are just highlights almost every rally. Started with a great serve that time from Moscoso. Montoya flings his body at it, not able to get there. Well, we mentioned the humidity. It doesn't quite describe how warm it is in here. Full house. We've been in here all morning. Now edging into the afternoon. These players, hydration really becomes a factor. Nutrition really becomes a factor, as well as sleep, because you've been playing full speed for well over 2 hours now. Incredible match, incredible athleticism from both players, still giving everything. 6 serving 7. If you're watching, I hope you appreciate it. Share it with others. This is going to go down to the wire.
Footfall, and he had switched it up, serving to Montoya's forehand side, finally.
I like the idea. It wasn't a great serve, came way off the back. We'll see a lob to the left, I expect. Last time it was a half lob, came off the back wall, and he lost the rally. This time a little higher, much better. Moscoso moving Montoya around the court. Montoya, great defense. Both players stopped in the middle of that rally. Ball went right down the middle after all that effort. At least no one dives, so no cleaning of the court this time.
Keep this point moving along.
Beautiful. Montoya kisses the sidewall, dives in the back, side out.
It's 6-7 serving 6.
Well, Moscoso runs into Montoya. Side out, I believe, is the call. I think we're going to have an appeal. Oh, yeah. Montoya caught Moscoso in the face with his elbow on the backswing as Moscoso ran forward. Looks like the call will... So the call's going to stand. Moscoso has an opportunity here to take an injury timeout should he require it. Injury timeouts occur when there's contact made. So you can't have an injury timeout if, for example, you get a cramp or pull a muscle. But if there's contact running into the wall, landing on the floor, in this case, Moscoso really did run into Montoya's elbow, completely accidental, but Moscoso was definitely in a position to get that ball. The official called an avoidable hinder or a replay. I'm not really sure. Maybe he called a replay and that's what Montoya appealed. Very difficult to hear from up here. So it looks like Mexico, Montoya has run out of appeals in this tiebreaker. He's not allowed to appeal anything. Replay was the call. He appealed it. He lost the appeal. Have to agree. I think the athleticism of Moscoso, he could have definitely made that shot. We're at 7 serving 6. Here we go. Well, full of drama all the way to the very end. Great pickup, Moscoso, but Montoya, well, doesn't do it any better than that. 8 serving 6, 3 points away from this match. Little fist pump from Montoya. Moscoso needs a side out. We had a little mic issue and they're adding a new battery. So here we go, we're good to go. We have a tablet up to the left of the screen which allows fans and everybody here to see what's going on and who's playing. Screen serve, second serve. Tablets have been really helpful over the last couple of years, keeping everybody informed. Makes it very easy to find out who's playing, what the score is, how many timeouts and appeals, how long we've been playing. Oh, Moscoso, that's unlucky. You saw him slip as he ran for that, but it's a point for Mexico. Nothing he could do about that. He has a timeout remaining. I think this might be a good time, Laura, to take that timeout. You're 2 points away. You're only down by 3, but you need that side out.
I agree. It can be so crucial right now at 9-6. kind of got to use everything you have. As we mentioned, these players have been playing for over 2 hours, so you got to kind of pull out all the stops right now.
2 hours, 28 minutes. We've been watching this match. Back and forth it has gone. Moscoso won the first, 15-13. Montoya the second, 15-7. Great serve, Montoya. What a pinch. Splat pinch near the front sidewall. A point. And we finally reach match point. Can he close it out?
Wow, 10-6 right now. We did see Moscoso having trouble closing out game one. Let's see if the same holds true for Montoya now with the pressure of match point.
Like to see him take a timeout, Moscoso, but he's not going to. You can see him pacing. Just needs to trust his ability, focus on just execution, and forget the moment. Replay. Correct decision. Montoya will be looking for a better serve. What a get, Montoya. Oh no, we'll have an appeal here. We saw Moscoso, he just kind of held up. Wow, both blind judges agree. Montoya takes the match. What a long 2.5 hour match we had. Moscoso won the first, 15-13. Montoya regrouped, came back 15-7, and closed out the tiebreaker, 11-6.
Take a look back here at that final point where Montoya pulls off the win, 11-6. We have that on the front camera. Let's go ahead and take a look at it from another angle too. Here's that final match point one more time, as Rodrigo Montoya from Mexico will move on now to the semifinals tomorrow.
Well, you could see he was definitely impeded by Montoya in the middle. He might have got that ball. That's where a situation where each referee is going to have a different opinion about that. Either way, we've got one more match coming up. Mercado and Horn. Montoya will be facing the winner of that match. He needs to rest up because that was a marathon match for him, but he's got till tomorrow to regroup. Meanwhile, Mercado, he won 11-9 in the tiebreaker last night. We'll see if that affected him against the #1 seed, David Bobby Horn.